Hello and welcome into episode 23 of BraveHawk Talk on the Uncp Sports Network. I'm John Gross. Before we jump into today's show, just a quick note, new episodes will now be released every Wednesday rather than every Monday, so make sure to go put a reminder in your calendar for that. As UNCP Athletics works its way towards a full return, I'm excited to speak with a couple of key members of our athletic department, senior Jay Hicks of the men's basketball team, and the assistant director of the Braves Club, Andrea Cuthrell. First up, after redshirting last season, this forward is looking to help his team win yet another conference title. Let's welcome our Scotland Health Student Athlete of the Week, Jay Hicks, to BraveHawk Talk. Jay, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm excited to speak with you.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm excited as well.
Looking forward to it, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to this upcoming basketball season, finally just around the corner. This has been a weird off-season, I'm sure. Can you give us an inside look at what the preparation has been like leading into this 2020-2021 season?
Oh, it's been a lot of hard work. With the return of Richards coming back, you know, he's been pushing us a lot, and a lot of the guys, they've stepped up to the challenge. It's been good. This year we have a lot of incoming freshmen, so it's been kind of like a learning curve for the most part, trying to get them, up to speed with the returners and everything, them learning the offense. But I can speak for the whole team when I say this. We're feeling good coming into the season, and coming the 20th, we're all ready to get back going.
And you mentioned Coach Richards coming back to UNCP, and I know you redshirted last season, but you still practice under Coach Jones, and Coach Jones, of course, still with the staff. Are there any noticeable differences between the two coaches and how you guys have gone about practicing?
Yeah, I would say last year was more like a team. Like, it was kind of like team-led, so, it was a lot of cooperation with, of course, Coach Jones, but more so feedback from the team aspect. But now with Richards, it's kind of like that solidified role. It's like, all right, Coach Richards is here. Like, he knows what's going on. He's been through the ringer, and like, not necessarily saying that there wasn't less respect, but it's just, with Coach Richards coming back, he's already been through it all. So it's been good having him back.
Right,
and leading us through this.
Certainly a familiar face, and like I just said, you redshirted last year, and now you're making the return to game action this season. For you personally, what has this journey been like over the last year to get back into playing shape? So day one this season kicks off, you're ready to roll.
It's been a lot, actually. I embraced my role last year in my redshirt role, and just really taking it stride by stride, day by day, trying to get better, honestly. And coming into this year, I've been feeling good. Ready. I'm really ready to start getting playing. Like, sitting out a whole year, it's been itching at me. Can't lie.
Are there things that you've learned from sitting out last season that, I've heard players say, all right, I was injured or redshirted, whatever it may be, I'm able to get a different view of the game. Were there things that you learned last year sitting out that maybe you didn't realize before?
Yeah, there definitely were. So some of the things I learned last year was just like really taking my chances and taking my shots when they present themselves. So from last year, be like the year before I redshirted, I really wasn't taking those chances. But coming into my redshirt year, I realized that I'll be coming back a senior and taking on a lot more responsibility. So that would mean, just taking the chances that are presented to me, really.
I remember one road game last year. I can't put my finger on exactly which one it was, but I was having a conversation at a practice with Pops Miller, and he said to me, John, be on the lookout for Jay. He's going to be a great piece for this team next year. Can you give us an idea of what Braves fans can expect to see from you this season?
Hey, well, I'll tell you what Coach Richards has been telling me. 3, D, and rebounding. So a lot of threes, great defense, and just consistently rebounding.
And that seems to be the modern trend of basketball. A lot of 3 and D players, and that's certainly a great asset to have in a team. I want to dive a bit into your career path, getting to UNCP. But first, when did you start playing basketball, and at what point did you realize that damn, I'm pretty good at this thing.
So, I mean, I've been playing basketball since I was literally like 5 years old. Like, my mom, she has pictures of me with like the little mini hoops, kind of like shooting it up. I was just a little toddler. But I really started taking basketball like seriously and realized that I wanted to, pursue this further in college when I was like in middle school going into ninth grade. That was really when I was like, okay, like, I'm kind of better than some of these guys. Like, let me actually start taking this seriously and see how far it goes, really. And then here we are now.
And I know you started your college career at William Peace, of course, now at UNCP. How did you end up at UNCP after starting your career elsewhere?
Really, it was a lot to do with tuition. And so the tuition over at William Peace, it was a little too pricey for me personally. And them being D3, everything was coming out of pocket. And then I further did some research. I figured I could walk on to UNC Pembroke, and then eventually I earned a scholarship here. And so now here we are now.
I want to talk a little bit about your college experience off the court, because I think you do such a great job, and for those who haven't seen it, Jay has become a household name around campus for his Sodexo videos. You might have seen them on social media. You do a great job with those. How did you land that position?
Really, it was one of my friends. He kind of told me about the job because I'm a business marketing major, so the marketing job, it fit right in perfectly with me. So once I found out I could get an internship doing something that I already enjoy, I had to hop up on it. And really, I've had a blast doing it. Like, I'm sure you guys could tell, we all, like, with the Sodexo Street Marketing team, we all enjoy each other and we all like having fun. And so that's what we try to portray in the page. And, I hope that comes across to you guys.
Absolutely. And for those who maybe haven't seen the videos or aren't too familiar about what the street team does, what does your role entail with Sodexo?
So my role for the Sodexo Street Marketing team is we run the UNCP dining page and pretty much facilitate, good feedback. We manage all the dining services with their marketing. So, like, all the signage, the posters, we all make sure that it's up to date. And like I said, we also hold events as well. So, like, in the caf, and also, like, a couple weeks ago, we had a Halloween night and costume night. So we'll facilitate all of those and just really, like, running the main page and just stuff like that.
Now, do you have any previous experience being on air, or is that something that you're interested in? Because you really do a good job with that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Don't flatter me too much. But not too much experience other than really just me being myself. Like, that's really what I strive in. And that's also kind of like the basis of my brand, which is called Shape Your World, by the way. But it's just really trying to be myself, and hopefully my positivity and my joy portrays and reflects onto others.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Your brand, Shape Your Joy?
Shape Your World, actually.
Shape Your World, sorry.
Yeah, so what that is, I make hats, masks, and T-shirts. And on the back of the shirts, it says, you have the power to shape the world around you. So basically what I'm just trying to spread positivity back into the world. Because if you notice on the message, you have the power to shape the world around you, it starts and ends with you. Because at the end of the day, you are the only person who has control of, like, say, you can make somebody smile today. You could be somebody's joy today. You could do anything to help others, bring that positivity back into the world. And that's really what the basis of my brand is, while also having something comfortable and stylish to wear. That's
deep. That's phenomenal. Is that something that you want to pursue long term? Do you have like a dream job in mind?
Dream job? I'm not gonna lie. I have a couple of dream jobs.
Let's hear it.
With this one, definitely Shape Your World it's actually been a vision of mine. I've been thinking about this since high school, actually, and I've been glad that I've just been able to launch it. But also, I do have an aspiration of owning my own restaurant. And I can go ahead and give you the format now.
Let's hear it.
4 seasons, and the basis of the restaurant is just going to be kind of like focusing on each season's menu. So, like, say, like a summer menu, we're going to have, like, good summer vibes. But then come wintertime, we'll completely change the menu and have, like, say, like, more warm food, like soups, pastas, and whatnot. But that's just a little tidbit so far. Not too much, but just a little foundation of it.
That's amazing. And I will say, if one day when you open Four Seasons up, I will be there. I'm looking forward to that.
I appreciate that. I hope you be the first meal, actually.
I'm honored. I'd be honored. That is great stuff. And we like to end with a fun question, one that'll make you think. And as a student athlete of the basketball team, we'll have a basketball question for you. Can you build your ideal all-time starting five?
Oh, all-time starting five? All right.
This doesn't necessarily have to be the five best players of all time. What five players combined together would be the best five players of all time? Best team.
Okay. So, my opinion, I'm thinking Jason Kidd as my point guard.
Good choice.
Okay, I'm going to have Steph Curry on off ball, and then, that's tough. Actually, no, I'm having James Harden on the off ball, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, my power forward, and then Shaq is going to be my center.
No MJ.
Yeah, no MJ. It was a rough one.
Wow, that's tough. Well, I love the Jason Kidd pick as a Nets fan myself. I'm with Jason Kidd is possibly the most underrated point guard of all time.
I definitely have to agree with that. His passive shooting skills, definitely underrated.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a Hall of Fame team to me, Jay. If whether you open up a restaurant or you're a GM for an NBA team, you have some great ideas. So best of luck this season. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Thanks again to Jay, and we all look forward to his return to action this season. Graduation is next weekend, and the return of athletics is just around the corner. So if you're in need of a place to stay, make sure to call the Holiday Inn Express of Pembroke, the official hotel provider of UNC Pembroke Athletics. Up next, one of the newer members of the UNCP Athletic Department, where she plays a crucial role in ensuring success both on and off the playing surface. Here's the Assistant Director of the Braves Club, Andrea Cuthral. Andrea, first of all, thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to speaking with you today.
Thank you. Looking forward to it, and thanks for all you do, John.
You joined the athletic department back in March of this year, kind of thrown right into the fire of college athletics in the COVID era. But what has your overall experience been like so far at UNCP?
Yeah, so when I started, it was right at the beginning. I think the teams that were traveling had to turn around, so that was really hard to see, knowing that they were kind of at a high in their season. It's been very interesting not having students here right when I got here, and then also some disconnect of being able to meet people in person and get that person-to-person relationship. So it was hard, but it's been really exciting to watch everyone push through and try to make the best of everything and work hard for the student athletes and the campus.
And you serve as the Assistant Director of the Braves Club. I'm sure no 2 days are the same for you, but can you give us an idea of what your role entails?
Yeah, so my role working with Braves Club specifically is to really make sure that we're connecting with the donors, providing fulfillment for any sort of incentives that they have for their membership, trying to get them connected with the teams, some are just by nature very more connected because they're able to stop by, but really trying to make sure that our donors and our members are able to stay connected with what's going on with the athletic department. And then some of it's also trying to make sure that I'm on the same page of what's going on with the team, so I can really tell that story about student athletes and the athletic department.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced in your first half year or so at UNCP?
Good question, John. At any point in this work, there's certainly challenges with or without COVID. So the biggest one is just to kind of stay up with the times, what's going on in the world. It's really important to know kind of where everyone is, what things they might be dealing with, and being sensitive to that. But with COVID, the biggest thing has been so hard, and I've had to push through, is not being able to have contact in person with these donors and the student athletes, as I mentioned before. So that being a new employee here, connecting with the staff has been a little challenging. Everyone's been very open and have reached out, but I would love to get to that next level of the relationship to really be able to connect with everyone.
And you kind of talked about this a bit with your answer right there, but it's a difficult time for college athletic programs, but it's a very difficult time for many people out there. How do you negotiate those two? Obviously, a major part of your job is raising money, but for some people, they might not be able to donate right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first thing is you just need to ask, how are they doing? Just making sure you connect with them and where they are. Some people are have different things going on with their families, so just really knowing that and making sure they know that you care about that. That's definitely foremost important. But the second thing is just to really reiterate that these student athletes are here, and we want to provide an opportunity, and that means that even though COVID's going on and it's hard, they need to know that these students are going to go in the world and impact our community. So it's important now more than ever to make sure that they're prepared for this. And, we didn't know this was coming, and they may not either. We need to prepare them in every way to do that, whether it's, being a coach or being someone in the community that impacts, whether it's young people or older people, just making sure they know it's important more now than ever.
You yourself are a former student athlete. You were a runner at Barton College. Had you always wanted to run in college or participate in some sort of collegiate athletic team?
That's funny. Everyone would ask me, why in the world would you do what everyone gets punished to do? So that would mean running. So I would always get crazy looks. And look, I would get crazy looks, but every athlete, we have a little crazy in us. That's why we're so committed and dedicated. But no, I didn't always know or think I was going to run. I actually had no interest in running. In high school, I was a soccer player. I did that since I was young, all the way through high school. And my senior year, throughout high school, the track coach or cross-country coach would always try to recruit me, and I just had no interest in that. I barely could do the mile practice. So, but they saw something. I decided to take a leap of faith and said, I'm going to try it. And that kind of just led me into being a lot better than I expected, was able to compete regionally and at the state level, and that got me a look to play collegiately. I always wanted to play a sport in college. I just always thought it was going to be soccer, but there was a bigger plan for me.
How do you feel that your student athlete experience as a runner at Barton prepared you for your post-college career?
Oh, yeah. I think that if anyone can go back and talk about that, there's so many emotions and memories that come out, and a lot of times you make memories during the hard times. So I would say that there were times that we may have needed to travel, in a van, or there was conversations about budget sometimes, and I really listened to those conversations. My coach always told me, like, you're paving the way for the next group of student athletes. So making that connection with my coach and hearing those things really inspired me. But there are so many different things, whether it's time management, relationship building, team building, just really having awareness for the community and things like that just are probably the biggest things that have prepared me for after college.
And you clearly have a passion for helping student athletes, whether it was your time at Barton. I know you primarily worked in compliance and some other roles as well, and here at UNCP working in the Braves Club, really focusing on giving back to student athletes. Why do you feel that's so important to do?
Again, going back to that opportunity, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am without the opportunity, and a lot of times at this level, it's someone taking I wouldn't say risk, but they're willing to put it all into you because they see potential. And so I know there's a lot of student athletes out there, and students too, that this is going to connect them and bridge them to the next part of their life, whether it is athletics or a different part. So I think that's the biggest thing. Who knows where it'll take you, but that opportunity is the reason why I'm so passionate.
What would your advice be to current student athletes who may want to follow in your footsteps and pursue a career in athletics?
My biggest thing I would recommend is to make the connections with the people that are closest to you. If you don't do that, then it's really hard to get people to advocate for you. I made relationships with my coaches, my teammates, the athletic director. That's one thing that I kind of was just sitting somewhere and said, why don't I know this person, and maybe it's something I want to do. Let me just go have a conversation with them. You don't even need to talk about sports. Obviously, that helps you connect with them, but get deeper and ask them why they're doing what they're doing, and that may inspire you one day.
Now, again, you came from Barton, both as a student athlete and working in their athletic department. And, of course, starting next year, UNCP will be conference mates with Barton, joining Conference Carolinas. Can you give us an inside look at maybe what Brave Nation can expect when UNCP makes the jump to Conference Carolinas?
Yeah, I mean, although I'm a Bulldog at heart, I see a lot of I see a bright future for UNCP in Conference Carolinas. I think one thing that they could expect is like the family aspect. I don't think there are a lot of conferences that, although we're competing, we really try to connect at a deeper level, making sure that, even though you're at a different school, you can still talk to me and we can have conversations. Let's just keep the competition on the playing field. And I think the administrators, the student athletes, the coaches, they all are able to connect a lot deeper with Conference Carolinas. That's been my experience, at least. And again, it takes a little initiative. You need to make sure that you're reaching out. It's not going to come to you, but I see that being something they can expect.
And I know many people are excited about the move to Conference Carolinas. A lot of great schools right nearby UNCP will be competing against. I want to talk a little bit about off the field. I know back in December you married your husband, Collins, who is a baseball coach here at UNCP. What's it like to work with your husband?
I'm very grateful for it. It's something that we thought we already knew. We've been together for a while, and we knew that this was going to happen at some point. And we made a commitment to respect each other's career goals. So that was really important. So that's made it very easy, but it's actually awesome to be able to have conversations with someone that really gets athletics. It's a different world sometimes compared to other businesses and industries. So he respects my opinions, I respect his. We give each other advice, and so that's nice to kind of balance each other out, keep each other in line.
We like to end with a fun question, one that'll make you think a bit. So I'll give you a second to think about this if you need it. If you could live in one fictional show or movie world, what would it be? So you put yourself in that world of a show or a movie. What would you pick?
Okay, yeah, I do need a second for that.
No problem.
Gosh, there's so many. I mean,
You can give me, if you have a couple on your mind that really pop out, you can give me a handful.
I would love to, just because it would be a different world and a different pace, just to see what it's like, Grey's Anatomy. I mean, I love that it's different every day, kind of like how it is for me, but you get to make a different impact for a person, and it matters to their life. So maybe in a different world, I could be a nurse of some sort.
Well, what do they say in the show? Every day is a great day to save lives?
That's right.
Right. Okay. Well, great stuff. Andrea, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and best of luck with everything moving forward.
Thanks, John, and go Braves.
Thank you to Andrea for joining me today. Hey, if listening to this podcast made you hungry, there's only one place to go. Satisfy your hunger at Jersey Mike's in Pembroke. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. That'll do it for today's episode of BraveHawk Talk. Follow us on our social media pages at UNCP_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, even TikTok, and UNCP Athletics on Facebook. And while you're at it listening to this podcast, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next Wednesday.